As you can see, those are some pretty shocking statistics. Hi, I'm Sean Kiefer with the Indiana Department of Labor Safety and Health Division, INSafe. Keeping you safe on the job is a top priority for the state of Indiana. And with nearly 3 million Hoosiers in the workplace, we need your help to accomplish that. As you prepare to begin a new job, you will need to know some basic information that's going to give you a better chance to stay safe and accident-free while working. The following video features safety experts from the Indiana Department of Labor who will be addressing questions posed by young adults just like yourselves about workplace safety and health. The purpose of this video is to prevent you from becoming one of our startling statistics and empowering you to make smart and safe decisions.
This summer I'll be working at a job which requires me to spend most of my time outdoors. What are the most important things I need to know to stay safe while outside?
When working outside, you will be exposed to many elements, some of which can be hazardous. In order to protect yourself from natural elements such as the sun, insects, plants, and animals, there are a few things you need to know. First, choose your clothing with natural elements in mind. Always wear light colors, as dark colors tend to attract the sun's rays and may cause you to overheat. Drink lots of water to stay properly hydrated. Also, you may be required to wear long-sleeve shirts and long pants, which will protect your skin from the sun as well as decrease the likelihood that you will have direct contact with plants such as poison ivy or poison oak. As well, always apply sunscreen, SPF 15 or higher, and insect repellent containing DEET. And don't forget that you may have to reapply these when working outside for long periods of time. As for animals, don't touch them. If you wouldn't want them living in your house, you really don't want to play with them either. You're a stranger in their home, so they're going to be defensive. They can and probably will bite.
Are there any other hazards I should know about?
That's a good question. Depending on where you work, you may be exposed to other hazards. These other hazards may include vehicles such as trucks, cars, and ATVs. Electrical sources such as outlets, power cords, and electrical boxes can be hazardous, as well as work with chemicals like insecticides, bleach, paint, and paint thinner. Work outside may also involve working with lawnmowers and other machines with moving parts. To stay safe, it is important to remain visible and be aware of your surroundings. While working near moving vehicles, wear light colored clothing. And keep in mind, if you can't see the driver can't see you. Also know the hazards associated with electricity. Heed voltage warning signs. Electrical hazards can be very dangerous and deadly. These hazards can cause burns, shocks, and electrocution. As for chemicals, they should always be labeled, used in well-ventilated areas, and never mixed. When working with lawnmowers, never put your hands anywhere near the blades. See a supervisor for assistance should the lawnmower stop working properly. In addition, depending on the type of work you will be doing, your employer will likely require you to wear some form of PPE. Remembering these basic rules will help keep you safe on the job.
Wait, what's PPE?
Most jobs, especially those located outdoors or involving electrical equipment or machinery, require that employees wear personal protective equipment or PPE. Some of the most common types of PPE include eye protection, earplugs, gloves, and boots. If you will be working in a noisy environment, such as one with loud electrical equipment, hearing protection, such as earplugs, may be required to reduce the risk of hearing impairment. If you will be performing tasks such as cutting wood, landscaping, and other work outside, eye protection will be required to prevent debris or sharp objects from coming into contact with your eyes. For jobs such as weeding, working with plants, or picking up branches, gloves should be utilized to protect you from cuts and splinters, and to help you avoid contact with plants such as poison ivy or poison oak. When working outdoors, boots may be required to give you more stability on uneven or slippery walking surfaces and to support your ankles to prevent sprains and strains. Steel-toed or safety boots may be necessary for some occupations to protect your feet from falling objects. Depending on your specific job, your employer will inform you what types of personal protective equipment you will be required to wear.
But I'm going to be working in the office, doing mainly administrative things like paperwork. There really aren't that many risks inside, right?
while working in an office environment is not particularly hazardous, injuries can occur. Situations such as electrical cords across walkways, leaving low drawers open, or objects falling from overhead can lead to injuries in an office setting. At times, you may have to retrieve something that is out of reach. Ladders or step stools may be used in these instances, but make sure that they are secure, stable, and tall enough to reach the desired object. Never lean to reach something while standing on a ladder, and never use a chair or box as a substitute for a ladder. Whether it is being used indoors or outside, you should never stand on the top of a ladder. Regardless of where you work, be aware of your surroundings. In order to decrease the likelihood that you will be involved in a workplace accident that could have otherwise been avoided.
How do I know if something at my job is considered hazardous or an unsafe activity?
That's a good question, and one that many people don't know the answer to. If you come across a coworker engaging in a behavior that you know is unsafe, let them know, because they may not realize that their behavior is hazardous. In this case, an employee was mixing chemicals and he was unaware that what he was doing was dangerous. His coworker saw the hazard and let him know about the potential danger. If it looks like it's unsafe, it probably is. Trust your instincts, remain alert, and don't engage in actions that could turn safe conditions into potentially hazardous situations. It's also important to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Actions that can cause a safe situation to turn hazardous include horseplay or goofing around, and talking or texting on your cell phone while working. Engaging in activities such as texting distracts you, slows down your reaction time, and can result in serious or fatal accidents while on the job.
What do I do if I see an unsafe work condition or my boss asks me to do something that is unsafe?
Your safety and health is a top priority. If you observe a behavior or work condition that is not safe, you should immediately report it to your supervisor. If your supervisor is asking you to do something that's unsafe, report it to another person in charge. Conditions that you should report to a superior include hostility from fellow employees, drug or alcohol use by other employees, the use of unmarked chemicals or liquids, performing tasks without the proper protective equipment, and using broken or faulty equipment. Your employer has the duty to provide you with a safe working environment. If you feel your safety is being jeopardized, you should not hesitate to bring it to someone's attention.
I always wanted to know, if I get hurt on the job, what should I do?
Regardless of the severity, all injuries and illnesses should be reported to your supervisor immediately. A small cut can lead to a much more severe infection, deterring from your ability to work. Your work site should be equipped with a basic first aid kit. Make sure you know where the first aid kit is located and that it is fully stocked. Also, be sure to know what the protocol is if you become injured. For injuries which cannot be taken care of with your first aid kit, your supervisor can help you determine the proper course of treatment.
While this video did not cover every hazard or every scenario that you may encounter in the workplace, your supervisor will ensure that you have the proper training to stay safe while working. Do your part to make safety a priority, and don't let your actions turn a safe workplace into a hazardous situation. Now that you've learned a little more about workplace safety, let's take a look at some obvious workplace hazards and see if you can identify them. Hazard number 1. See if you can spot the hazard in this picture. Ladders should never be stacked on top of each other. When working at heights beyond the ladder's reach, an extension ladder should be used. Next, try to spot the hazard in this picture. If you are working up high, such as a roof or other elevated surface, railing or fall protection is required to minimize the probability of falling. See if you can spot the hazard in this picture. Be cautious. To reduce the likelihood of electrical shock, it is important to not overload electrical outlets or misuse a power strip as an extension cord. Finally, see the hazard in this last picture. When work requires the use of personal protective equipment, or PPE, be sure to comply with your employer's requirements. After having learned a bit more about safety, we were able to make light of these pictures. but these are real pictures taken of real workers engaging in unsafe behaviors that many times turns into tragic consequences. Remember, if you think it might be unsafe, it probably is unsafe. A split-second decision in order to do something quicker could lead to a life-turning, tragic event. Your work is important, but ultimately your safety on the job is the most important. For additional information or questions regarding workplace safety, talk with your supervisor and visit our website at www.in.gov/DOL. Thank you for watching, and be smart, be safe, and have fun in your new job. Good luck.